Hi spooky friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I am bringing you a spooky Halloween recommendations. Show you some books that I think are going to be perfect for the Halloween season that I want to read as well. So there's a mixture of things that I've grabbed from the shelf and I cannot wait to share them with you. I'm starting with a book that doesn't have Halloween vibes, but it's kind of monstrous. So that is The Pale House Devil by Richard Cadre. It's not set around Halloween, but it follows a set of detectives. One is alive and one is unalive, and they are tracking monsters and solving crimes and issues. And I just think that that screams perfect for the spooky season, especially around Halloween. It is so short, so you could read it on Halloween and kind of get into the spooky vibe. This has humorous undertones. It's got really good friendships. It's got the monsters that you really want in your Halloween books. I think The Pale House Devil is definitely a good book to add to your Halloween TBR. It is a haunted house story, and you get everything that you want from a haunted house story and more in this. When I was reading it, I was wanting a lot more from this story, and I feel like you'll want a lot more from this story as well. So if we can all band together and get Richard to write more in this world, maybe we'll end up getting our wishes. So you do need to check this out. Then I'm going to show you a book. It's the sequel to the one that I'm going to talk about, but I don't have the physical copy anymore, but it's part of the Mina and the Undead series. This is the second book. This is Mina and the Slayers. I think this trilogy is perfect for Halloween. The first one, Mina and the Undead, is basically vampires. This whole series is vampires. Mina and the Slayers is set around Halloween, and it gives that spooky vibe. It is nostalgic as well because it is set in 1995, so you kind of get that nostalgic feel with all of the technology and the words and the styles that are used in these books. It is written as a YA story, so it's really easy to read and get through, but it has incredible friendships and close sister bonds. It follows vampires and mysteries and people wanting to solve murders. So there is so much happening in both of these books, Mina and the Undead and Mina and the Slayers. I'm yet to read the third book, but I really want to read it because I've just finished Mina and the Slayers and absolutely adored it. So yes, I think that this series as a whole, I think would be perfect for the spooky season. Maybe you can start it on Halloween and continue it until the end of the year. I mean, I think it's incredible. Definitely a good book to add to your list. Next up, we have a book that I want to read during this spooky season, and that is The Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires. I struggle to say this one all the time, but this is a book that is, again, another nostalgic read. It is set in the late 1980s, early 90s, and it's following a bunch of suburban mums who join a book club, but there's a vampire in town and they try to band together to kind of solve the problem that is arising in their small town. So it seems like it would be incredible. It is based around vampires, so it screams Halloween to me, which is why I thought I would include it in my autumn TBR. So that's one I think you might like to read as well, but it is one that I'm going to be reading. The next book is one that I read last year during Halloween, and I thought it was lovely. The writing style in this book was so incredible. It is so creepy and atmospheric that I think it screams Halloween. So anybody should read this. And it's All Hallows by Christopher Golden. This is a story that follows, again, another small town and the kids in it. So it has like It vibes, but also Halloween vibes. Halloween the movie, by the way. So this book is set in 1984. It has the nostalgic feel. It is set on Halloween night, and it follows a thing called the Cunning Man, and it is so twisty and haunted that you would just, yeah, you just get taken into the cozy vibes, the scary vibes in this book, because it is so incredible. It's got a lot in here, and I think that it would be a perfect read for Halloween, especially as it is set around Halloween. So yeah, it screams creepy to me. So I think it's one of the perfect books to read. I'm going to recommend a book that, whilst I didn't necessarily love, I think it does create such an atmosphere that would be perfect to read on Halloween, and that is Pine. So Pine is set in the Highlands in Scotland. It starts on Halloween as well, so it does have that connection to Halloween. So we're following a dad and his daughter who live in a really remote village. So it has like a claustrophobic feel. It is a thriller. It's kind of gothic. You're following a mystery. You're trying to solve it, and you're learning a lot more about Lauren, which is the kid, and her dad, and then her mum, where her mum's gone to, why is she gone, and yeah, there's a lot to unfold in this book. So it makes a perfect thriller story. It is very atmospheric, spooky, and a good read, I think, for autumn and the Halloween night, or wherever you want to read this. I think it is a really good book for that. You may end up not enjoying the ending, because I didn't enjoy how it ended, but that's probably a personal preference. I would love to know your thoughts if you do end up reading Pine, if you kind of agree with me. But yeah, I think Pine is definitely another good read for the spooky season. Then we move on to another book that I want to read, and that is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. I've heard that this is incredible. People keep telling me that it's outstanding and beautiful and something that I should read. So it is on my TBR. I will be reading it this month. It is set on Halloween as well. So again, another perfect book to read for the night. So yeah, I mean, it has carnivals set on Halloween. Sounds spooky. I just think it sounds like an incredible time. I will be reading it, and maybe you could read it too. And finally, the last book that I think would be an incredible read is The October Society Season 1 by Christopher Robinson. If you've been around for a while, you know I talk about this book literally anytime that I get. If I can recommend this, I will recommend this to everybody. I adore this with my whole heart. The October Society is such a heartwarming collection of stories that kind of makes you feel, as a weird kid, not weird. It's like a hug, a warm hug for us weird kids. It is basically nostalgic. It's set around the 1990s. The TV show that it's supposed to be is set between the static between channels, and it's a group of kids who get together around a campfire and tell very creepy, dark, twisty stories as Halloween approaches, and each kid takes turns to tell those stories. And each episode in the story, we have 6 for each of the 6 children. It tells you how it works as the society, then who is telling the story. We have the story, it cuts back to the October Society, then back to the story, and then we round it out, and then we move into the next episode. So I love this. It is so beautifully written, and whilst it's short stories, there's such a cohesiveness to it, and you feel like you learn about the characters, even though they have very small parts in this. You do learn all of the characters, and you kind of build that connection with them. And obviously there is season 2 and 3, so this is a trilogy of books, and I think all of them are incredible. And I think everybody who loves Halloween needs to read this because it is such a love letter to Halloween and spooky people. So yeah, this one is perfect and I always recommend it. This is literally my favorite series of all time. Cannot talk more highly about the October Society than this. I wish I could go back and experience this book for the very first time because I just adore this so much. And those are the books that I want to share with you today. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of them, if you agree with my choices. Let me know what you'll add as well, and maybe I'll read your recommendations. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have an incredible spooky season. And I guess until next time, keep your pages turning and embrace the darkness. Bye!